guys, it's Steph with Bain, and we are in my kitchen again today. And what we're going to be making is a homemade carrot cake, and I'm basically making this for Easter. I know it's a little bit ahead of time, but I always like to put this out ahead of time before the actual holiday. And so I've got everything laid out, everything prepared, and as far as even my carrots grated and my nuts are chopped, everything is done. So I'll give you a list of ingredients here in a minute, and if you want to know how I made this cake right here, stay tuned and I will show you just how easy it is, just how I made it step by step. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment down below and I will get to you as soon as I possibly can. If you are new here, I ask you to please take a minute and just press that subscribe button, tap that bell for me, and let it notify you of any new uploads that I do upload. If you're not new here and you've already subscribed and tapped my bell, I want to thank you for always being there and being supportive. That means a lot to me. Guys, if you can, please share my stuff. It really does help spread my name. And if you have any questions, again, just leave me a comment, leave me a like, share my stuff, and thank you guys so very much. Stay tuned and we'll get right to it. Alright guys, let's get started. For this recipe, you're going to need 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 3 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of light brown sugar, 1 cup of granulated sugar, 3/4 to 1 pound of grated carrots, 1 cup of chopped pecans for the cake and another ½ cup for decorating, 6 large eggs, a pinch of cloves and ½ teaspoon of ground nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 1½ cups plus 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Alright guys, we're here and we're ready to go ahead and start the cake. The first thing you always want to do is go ahead and start your oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Go ahead and get it preheating. The next thing I've done is I've took all the dry ingredients that I listed except the sugars and the nuts, and I mixed them all together, whisked it all together, and we're going to be adding this in, okay, later on. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to, all the granulated sugar and the brown sugar you're going to pour into your mixer. To be stuck. Starting to set up is what's going on. Okay. Alright. So there is the sugars. And then you want to take the oil and put it in. And you're going to make kind of like a syrup. Kind of hard to explain. All right, so let's go ahead and, oops, mix that. All right, now we're gonna add each egg one at a time and let it mix up really well and get that egg kind of fluffed up a little bit. You'll know when you start to see it turn almost caramel looking. It's gonna look kind of like a caramel. All right, on this last egg, I'm gonna add it and then I'm gonna walk away for just a couple of minutes and let it all come together, okay? Just about a minute or two. And then we'll start with the next step. All right, it's not quite a minute, but I wanna go ahead and add the vanilla and then we'll let it, mix until it's smooth, okay? All right, so that's it. Now we're just gonna add in one big clump, this, and that is basically it, and then we'll fold in. The one thing you wanna do on this one, when you add all this to that, start off really slow because it's gonna be kind of full. We're doing 3 8-inch layers, or you can do 2 9-inch layers. It's just up to you. I wanna do 3 so my cake can be a little taller and I can decorate it a little pretty. Then we'll go ahead after this is done. You wanna mix this until it's just incorporated. You do not wanna over mix this or you will mess with the fluffiness of it. And then when we add the carrots and everything, we're gonna be folding it in until it's evenly distributed throughout the batter. And then the nuts all at one time. And you wanna fold it in, don't stir it, fold it in. If you don't understand what folding is, research it. It's very important not to over mix this because you're breaking up the structure of the cake, in other words, okay? So let's go ahead and we'll add this all at one time because of the fact that you're just gonna be doing it just till it's incorporated. You do not wanna do this in steps, if that makes sense. You wanna do it till it's just combined and then fold in the carrots and the nuts. All right. So let's go ahead and start this on very slow and then just till it's incorporated, guys, okay? All right, that is good enough. That might be a little too much because you're also going to be folding in the rest of the ingredients. So that will be meaning, in other words, more stirring going on. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to add the nuts and the carrots. And sometimes I add all of it and sometimes I don't. It just depends. I kind of grate and then measure as I go. But I think I'm gonna go ahead. This looks, I just left a little tiny bit. All right, so let's go ahead and fold this in. And it's gonna be very sticky, you guys, because you've made almost like a syrup is what you've done. Scrape all the way down to the bottom and just turn as you go. That's what folding is. All right, so I've got my pans prepared with baking grease, and I always talk about my baking grease. And if you don't know what that is, you can watch any one of my other videos and it'll kind of explain. But it's basically equal parts of vegetable oil. You're gonna use a half a cup, just say a half a cup of vegetable oil, a cup of flour, and a cup of lard. And you stir it and mix it together really well, and then you brush it into your pans. You will never have a cake that will stick to a pan. You don't have to line it and all that other stuff. You just mix all those three, Mix it up really well, brush it on a pan, and it just plops right out. It's amazing. Okay, so I've got 3 of these. Or you are more than welcome to do 2 9-inch pans. It's just up to you what you want to do. Alright guys, we've got it poured, and I'm just going to shake it up a little bit and then maybe just tap it down a couple of times or so. I don't want to tap it too much because that makes it a lot more dense. But I do want it firm enough to where I can frost it. I just don't want it too dense. So let's go ahead and then we'll start this up. And you want to do at 350, I think for like maybe, we'll start with 25 minutes. Let's go ahead and tap these and then I'll start it up. And I'll fast forward this. Alright guys, we're going to throw it in the oven, like I said, for about 25 to 30 minutes. At 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll come back and plop them out and let them cool off on a cooling rack, and then I'll insert it probably into my refrigerator for a couple hours to let it chill. We will probably within the last 10-15 minutes of this chilling, I will go ahead and make the buttercream frosting to it, the buttercream cream cheese buttercream frosting to it. All right, see you back in a minute. Alright guys, and the cake is done, and as you can see, it is beautiful. I had one crack just a little bit. It took about 28 minutes, and the way I mean, I did insert there about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and it wasn't ready. But the way I usually tell is when the sides start pulling just slightly away from the sides. Now, what I do, since I'm going to be coating this, I usually take something like a paper towel or something like that, and I try to smash these down to where it makes it a little less high topped. But you can also take a cake leveler if you want to and level the cake. And that may be another thing I do, because these right here are very, very domed. But as you can see, it is absolutely beautiful. Just beautiful. And it smells amazing. But yeah, I wanted to show y'all that. But anyways, I will come back when it's time to make the buttercream, because it is still really hot. I'm gonna let it cool on these cooling racks for about 10 or 15 minutes. And then I'm gonna probably wrap them and put them in the freezer or the fridge for about a good 2 hours. If I put it in the freezer, I'm probably only gonna leave it in for maybe 20 minutes to really bring down the temp, so I can go ahead and, you know, start icing everything. But it is just, smells amazing, and it's beautiful. You can see the carrot pieces in it and the nuts. Really, really beautiful. All right, guys, so I'll see y'all back in just a second. All right, guys, so I already made the cream cheese buttercream. And all I did was I took 2 sticks of 8-ounce boxes of cream cheese and 3 sticks of unsalted butter, which was all at room temp, and about 7 to maybe 8.5 cups of confectioner sugar, about a tablespoon to maybe 2 or even 3, just depending on how you want the thickness of the consistency of the buttercream. I used heavy whipping cream, or you can use milk. And then about 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And I'll put that down below in the description link. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put just a little bit of this. This is gonna help the cake stick to the bottom a little better. And I went ahead and I cut the tops off to keep it an even, to keep it kind of even, you know, so I can put filling. So I'm gonna push this down just slightly. Y'all, this smells so good. And I did not put it in the refrigerator for that long. I probably put it maybe 20 minutes, if that, just enough to cool it down. Now, what I'm gonna do, before I start putting too much of something, I am probably going to separate some of this cream cheese. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm gonna move this for right now. By the way, I've also got some more chopped nuts, and I'll probably put that on the sides of the cake. I'm just gonna spread this out. I probably don't even need that much cream cheese. I don't wanna put it just crazy on here. The reason I was wanting to separate this is so that basically so I'm not putting any crumbs in the final coat. But you know, this is not for decoration. It's not really supposed to be that fancy. I mean, you don't have to be fancy with this. This is not really for a special occasion or anything like that, or someone's birthday, or anyways. So now I'm gonna place the next layer, and I'm gonna get it as close as I possibly can on all sides, and then I'll push down, be kind of gentle at the same time, but you want just enough to where you know it's not gonna create a bubble. All right, so guys, I've got this done. This is the crumb coat. We'll come back in a few minutes. I'll let it for about 20 minutes in the refrigerator, let it kind of harden up, and then we'll come back and put the second coat and decorate it, okay? So I'll see y'all back here in about 20 minutes. All right, guys, it's only been about 10 minutes and it's still pretty soft, but I have so much more to do today, and I don't want to get it too firm on the inside because I'm probably going to eat this tonight, and I'm running so late today, it's already almost supper time. So we're gonna go ahead and just do this as best as we possibly can and pray for the best. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take these nuts, and I am just going to basically press it into the cake on the sides and towards the bottom. And press it into the cake. And now I'm going to be using tip number 32 by Wilson or whatever you call it. And it's one of the smaller tips, so you do not need to cut the tip off of the bag very much. I'm just going to pipe a little border on the bottom and maybe one on the top. And that's probably going to be about it. If I have enough frosting, I may do something a little else. I've got a little bit left. What I was thinking about doing is making a carrot with frosting right in the center, and then maybe some more nuts. And that's it, basically, guys. That's good enough for me. I know it's delicious inside. And that's it. For the limited time I had today, I think that's a pretty good cake for tonight. But there you go. Thank y'all so very much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I always say, sounds like I'm saying appreciate, but I'm saying appreciate everything that y'all do and all your love and support that you give me. Guys, don't forget, share, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. So that is it, guys. I hope y'all enjoy. Thank y'all so much for coming. Until next time, God bless. Thank you.